Hello everyone, welcome to my tutorial on object-oriented programming in Java. Today's tutorial I'm going to talk about polymorphism. Polymorphism is one of the 4 features of object-oriented principles. So what does it mean? It means having many forms. So from OOP perspective, it means one method performing many functions or implementations. That means we can have a method declared and the method name being same, it can perform different functions, and we'll see in this tutorial that what can be different forms the method can have. What is the advantage? The advantage is that one method performing different implementations, so we do not just need to write so many different methods. We can just write one method and then implementations are going to be different. In Java there are 2 types of polymorphisms, or we can say that polymorphism can be defined in 2 ways. One is the compile time polymorphism, and the other one is the runtime polymorphism. The compile time polymorphism is implemented through method overloading, and runtime polymorphism is implemented through method overriding. And we actually discussed about the method overloading and method overriding before. So method overloading is same name but different input parameters, and the method overriding involves the superclass, subclass relationship, and has the same method name, return type, and argument list. Okay, so again in Java we are going to implement polymorphism in 2 ways. One is the compile time polymorphism and the other one is the runtime polymorphism. Compile time is done with the method overloading and runtime is done with the method overriding. Now let's take some example. Let's create a class, and I'm writing the class as class parent, and I'm having here just one method, void print, and I'm printing here println, which is printing from parent. Okay, in the other class I've created a child class, and child extends parent, and in here I'm going to write, or I'm going to override this print method. So what I'm doing, void print, and then system.out.println, and then printing in child. Okay, and then I'm going to write another method which is void print, and I need to pass actually a parameter here, and let's say I'm passing on a string s. Okay, that is what I'm passing on here, and then I'm printing ln, and then I'm going to print something plus from child. So the purpose here is to show both in terms of when you look into these two methods, these are example of what? Method overloading, right? Why? Because we have the same method name, that is the print, but here there is no parameter and here there is one parameter. So as we know that whenever there is a difference in the parameter list but the method name is same, that is called the overloading. And when we are going to create a new instance of it, let's say child c equals new child. Okay, I have created a new instance, and when I'm invoking c dot print, I'm printing this one, or I'm invoking this method. And then when I'm invoking this print, and let's say I put hi, I'm invoking this method. So this is determined during the compile time, that which method I'm going to invoke, right? So when I'm compiling, there are two processes. One is compiling and the other one is running. So during the compiling, we are determining that which method is being invoked. Okay, so this one is invoking this method and this one is invoking this method, and this is determined during the compile time. But there is another issue. Let's say I want to create like this way: parent pc equals new child. Okay, so remember there is a difference. I didn't write parent p equals new parent, right? Rather I wrote parent pc equals new child. So that means I'm creating a reference. Reference is of parent type, but the object is child type. Okay, over here the reference is parent type and object is parent as well. Okay, so there is a difference. You need to focus on this. Here is new child and here is new parent, but we are creating a reference to the parent here when we are creating a child object. So now in this case, when I'm saying pc dot print, this is something interesting. In this case, this will be invoking the child method. Okay, pc dot print will be invoking this method. Okay, not this method, and this is determined during the runtime. Okay, so again, whenever we are creating an object reference of the parent type and creating a new object of the child type, and then if we are invoking the child method using a parent reference, then the child method will be invoked. But in this case, whenever I'm saying p.print, we'll be printing this method. Okay, so now let's go to the actual code that I have written for you. So here you can see that this is a parent class or a superclass, whatever you say, and there is a method here. It is printing from parent, and then I have a child here, and then the child is extending the parent, and this is the method that is inherited from the parent, but the child has its new implementation, right? The new implementation is what? This is the new code. In the parent we had a different code, and whenever you are using the same method but you change anything within the method, it's a new implementation. And then the child has its own method which is taking a parameter. So from method overloading perspective, these two are method overloaded. Okay, and overriding perspective, this is an overriding method and this is the overridden method. Okay. Now if we go to the test driver, and then you can see that I have created three objects. One is parent p equals new parent, so new parent object I have created with a reference to parent. And then this one is interesting. This is parent pc equals new child, and I'm creating a child object with the reference to the parent, and then I'm invoking pc.parent. Okay, so this one is calling the runtime poly, because during the runtime it will determine that which method should be called. Both the parent and the child has the print method, but during the runtime it will see that, oh okay, this is referencing to parent but the object is a child object, so it will print the child, or it will invoke the child method. And this is the method overloading. So we have created a new child object and then we are invoking both the methods in there. So now let's run it. Okay, so the first one is obviously coming from the parent. The second one is coming from the printing from child. So this one is printing from child. Okay, so that means this also gives us another information that we can access the child members through the parent if it is overridden. But let's say I would like to try to access the child method itself, that is the parameterized method print. So I don't get that. Okay, so you can, if you click on dot here, and then you get all the method name, but the print with parameterized or parameterized print method you cannot access from the parent class. Okay, so that's all for today's polymorphism tutorial, and this tutorial is based on our previous learning of method overloading and method overriding, and we had separate tutorials for that. So if you have any confusion or if you would like to know more about those things, go and visit those two tutorials again. Thank you.